in my mind, I was never going to walk right again. Before we were through, we had walked 23 steps. And that was my first steps of freedom. This patient is saying thank you.
Good afternoon and welcome to the Daily O. I'm Carney Porter. It's another busy day on Oklahoma State's campus. Tonight, the OSU Cineculture Club is showing Camera Person, which won the Toronto Film Critics Association Award for Best Documentary of 2016. Camera Person explores the relationship between filmmakers and their subjects. So head to Willard 104 at 5:30 to catch this free screening. And if you're wanting to enjoy the nice weather today, head to Boomer Lake Park at 6 for Beta Upsilon Chi's Island Party. This party will include wacky Olympics, carnival games, and a raffle. All proceeds from the event will benefit the International Justice Mission. On Library Lawn tonight, the Student Union Activities Board is hosting a screening of the Academy Award-winning film Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. The screening will start at 8 p.m., but be sure to get there early. Josh's Snow Cones will be serving free snow cones throughout the screening. A redacted version of Special Counsel Robert Mueller's investigation is now public. The nearly 400-page report centers on the investigation into possible collusion between President Trump's election campaign and Russia. There are actually two redacted versions. One, with fewer omissions, went to select congressional leaders. The other is now posted on the Department of Justice's website. Attorney General Barr says 4 types of information are redacted: grand jury material, classified material, material about ongoing investigations, and finally, quote, information that would unduly infringe on the personal privacy and reputational interests of peripheral third parties. Congressional Democrats have already authorized a subpoena to see full unredacted report and the underlying evidence. While the White House is claiming a full victory, according to the redacted version, investigators were unable to determine that no criminal conduct occurred. In other news, a British cave diver who was part of the major 2018 rescue of a Thai soccer team gets rescued himself. Josh Bratchley disappeared in a Tennessee cave Tuesday. Roughly 24 hours later, he was back above ground. We had a little technical difficulty there. Bratchley was trapped for more than 24 hours in a Jackson County underwater cave, and he and 4 other experienced divers were exploring a cave. When the group came out, they realized Bratchley was missing. Ed Sorensen, a rescue diver from Florida, flew into Tennessee after getting an early morning call. Once he reached the cave, it took him less than an hour to get to Bratchley. Sorensen said Bratchley was covered head to toe in mud when he found him. And after being rescued, Bratchley's only request was pizza. Bratchley was among the divers involved in last year's rescue of 12 schoolboys and their soccer coach in a flooded cave in Thailand. And we're going to go ahead and take a quick break, but when we come back, I'll fill you in on what's trending. Stay tuned. Welcome back to the Daily O. Here's what's trending. Another day, another milestone. Welcome back to the Daily O. Here's what's trending. Another day, another milestone for South Korean boy band phenomenon BTS. They have just broken the record for YouTube's most viewed video in 24 hours with their latest single, Boy With Love. Featuring American singer Halsey, it had more than 147 million views so far. It's also, according to their management company, the fastest video to reach 100 million views. They were the first South Korean group to speak at the United Nations, the first to present an award at the Grammys, and last weekend they became the first Korean boy band to perform on Saturday Night Live. With their fans starting to line up for Monday outside 30 Rock to grab those coveted SNL tickets. They held a news conference here in Seoul on Wednesday promoting their new album, Map of the Soul Persona. They had 3 million pre-orders for that album, and it is expected to top the charts. The band's last two albums both ranked #1 on the Billboard 200 Albums chart. And several record breakers and newsmakers graced this year's edition of Time's 100 Most Influential People issue. It's a mix of entertainers, athletes, business leaders, politicians, and media personalities. The 2019 magazine cover features singer Taylor Swift, actor Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, actress Sandra Oh, CBS News anchor Gayle King, House Speaker Nancy Pelosi, and Egyptian soccer star Mohamed Salah. Some other high-profile names on the list include President Donald Trump, Special Counsel Robert Mueller, and former First Lady Michelle Obama. 29-year-old freshman Republican Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, the youngest woman elected to Congress, also made the list. And Tiger Woods, who won the Masters over the weekend in a comeback, was recognized as well. This is the 16th year Time has released its list of 100 most influential people. And officials will seek a sentence of up to 10 months in jail for actress Felicity Huffman for her role in the ongoing college admissions scandal. Last week, she agreed to plead guilty to one charge of conspiracy to commit fraud. Huffman admitted she paid $15,000 to fake a charity associated with a man who helped wealthy parents get their children into top schools. A law enforcement source says prosecutors will seek a sentence of 4 to 10 months of jail time for Huffman. Ultimately, a federal judge will have the final say on Huffman's punishment. She is due back in court for a sentencing hearing on May 21st. In all, 33 parents are facing accusations they bribed college administrators and cheated on standardized tests for their children. And that's what's trending. We'll be right back with more of the Daily Yo. And if you thought last month felt a bit warmer than usual, you're not alone. The National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration says last month was the second hottest March on record for the entire planet. Only March of 2016 was hotter. The NOAA also says the first quarter of this year, that's January, February, and March, was the third warmest on record for the globe. Analysts say this could be a sign of how climate change is affecting Earth. Another example? Loss of polar sea ice. NOAA says average Arctic sea ice coverage was nearly 6% below the numbers from 1981 to 2010. It was even worse for that Antarctic sea ice. That number was down nearly 22%. And an incredible find in Russia is sparking hope that an extinct species can be revived. This footage is from Russia's Northeastern Federal University. Researchers there discovered liquid blood and urine inside of the frozen carcass of an ancient foal. That foal died some 42,000 years ago in modern-day Siberia. Mammoth tusk hunters discovered the foal embedded in permafrost last summer. Researchers are now working with a controversial South Korean biotech firm to try and cultivate the foal's cells for cloning. Although Russian officials admit their chances of success are quite slim. The South Korean firm attracted headlines in 2004 after its lead scientist claimed to have successfully cloned human embryonic stem cells, but later admitted his findings were fake. And we're going to take a quick break, but when we come back, Sapphire Cervantes will fill you in on what's happening in the world of sports.
Determining your future by selecting a major can be difficult.
It's okay to be undecided.
Connect with the College of Arts and Sciences, where your options are endless.
Where you can uncover your passions and achieve your goals.
Express your creativity by exploring a career in the visual and performing arts.
Investigate new discoveries to make the world a better place with a career in science.
Advance knowledge, communicate progress, and contribute to a healthier planet with a career rooted in the social sciences.
Discover your career by looking at the world from different perspectives through the humanities.
Realize a better tomorrow through problem solving and mining data that can change lives.
CAS prepares you to succeed through internships, study abroad, student-guided research projects, and service activities.
With 109 majors, 52 minors, and 24 departments, the only thing missing is you. College of Arts and Sciences.
Connect.
Achieve. Succeed.
When you have a team of physicians and nurses that really truly care about their patients, that translates into patient care.
It's a small practice, it's a small town. Everybody really takes that time to put the patient first.
Everybody cares what's happening to me and that I'm making progress and I'm gaining my freedom back and my mobility back. This patient is saying thank you.
This spring, I invite you to shop in downtown Stillwater. Downtown Stillwater is home to locally owned shops, boutiques, eateries, and dependable professionals that you can trust. Find the perfect gift for your graduate, have a delicious meal with mom, or just stop in to enjoy great spring savings. By creating a demand for local goods and services, you can ensure a place for the local businesses that help give our community character and keep it unique. On behalf of Downtown Stillwater, thank you for shopping local.
gotta be against the law to look this damn good. Watch out now. Cause baby, I feel real good and I wish I would. Watch out now. It's gotta be against the law to look this damn good. Watch out now. Everybody watch out. Watch out now. I'm ready for a good time and I came to groove. The whole band's here and we came to move. Got a fresh haircut and 2 new shoes. We're here all night like we got nothing to lose. I'm coming out the jacket cause we're turning up the heat. I wanna see you clapping when you get up out your seat. It's time to make it happen when we hit these streets. I'm coming in hot and I can't be beat. Watch out now. Baby, watch out now.
Welcome back to the Daily O. I'm Sapphire Cervantes. We are just 2 days away from the most anticipated football action of the semester, the spring game, and we have a special guest coming to talk to us about it later on. But first, don't forget to come to Allie P. Reynolds Stadium later tonight to watch the Oklahoma State baseball team kick off the season series against the Texas Longhorns. The Cowboys are coming off a 6-3 victory against Dallas Baptist on Tuesday. OSU is currently sitting second in the conference with a 7-5 record, trailing the leader Baylor by 1.5 game. First pitch will be thrown at 7 p.m. and the match will be live on FS1. Meanwhile, the OSU tennis programs are going to Lawrence, Kansas for the Big 12 tournament, with both teams on the flip side of their desired momentum. The men's team finished last in the conference play with a 1-4 record, but along the way they picked up a victory against Texas Tech and went toe-to-toe to the number 1 Texas, in which the team dropped a close 4-3 loss. The women's team went 8-1 to finish second and are looking forward to avenge the loss against Texas, their only loss in the regular season. In the tournament, head coach Chris Young also had some words to say. Chris Young and his players will square off against the winner of the Kansas State and West Virginia matchup on Friday at 9 a.m., while the Cowboys will face TCU at noon later on that day. At Waco, Texas, the Oklahoma State equestrian team is competing in the NCEA National Championship as they face SMU in the first round. Moving on to the NBA, the top 2 candidates for the MVP award suite last night for their second playoff game, David Moore with the recap.
First round of the NBA playoffs featured stellar performances from the MVP candidate. In Houston, it was another day in the office for James Harden. The Beard recorded his 3rd career playoff triple-double as the Houston Rockets defeated the Utah Jazz 118-98. Harden finished with 32 points, 13 rebounds, and 10 assists as the Rockets avenged last year's Game 2 loss against the Jazz to take a 2-0 lead going to Utah. Harden's biggest MVP candidate, Giannis Antetokounmpo, had a rather up-and-down game. Foul trouble reduced Antetokounmpo's playing time to 30 minutes, but whenever he was on the court, he lived up to the freak. He scored 13 of 26 points of the night in the 3rd quarter as the Milwaukee Bucks ran away to a 120-99 victory. Bucks lead 2-0 in the series. Kyrie Irving and the Boston Celtics shut down the Indiana Pacers in the 3rd quarter of Game 1, and they did it again on crunch time last night. Facing an 11-point deficit heading into the 4th quarter, the Celtics limited the Pacers to just 12 points in the final 12 minutes. Kyrie Irving finished with 37 points. Jason Tatum scored 8 points in the final minute as Boston capped off with a 10-0 run. Celtics win 99-91 as they take a 2-0 lead. For the Daily O, I'm David Moore.
Hey guys, so I'm back here with Hallie Hart, and she is a Oak Collie sports writer, and she's going to talk to us a little bit about the spring game on Saturday. So thank you so much, Hallie, for coming in and talking with us. So I just have a couple of questions because there's been a lot of changes with OSU football, and you know we have 3 scholarship quarterbacks right now who are kind of competing for the starting spot, and we have 2 new coaches. We have Sean Gleason and Charlie Dickey, and obviously Gleason's going to have a hard time picking whoever the starter is going to be for the 2019 season. So what do you think, you know, we have to look forward to and we're going to be able to see with Cowboy football just on Saturday?
Yeah, like you mentioned, a lot of changes, so it's going to be interesting, of course, for the fans to really get that preview of Spencer Sanders and Drew Brown, because unlike last year where even at this point Mike Gundy had kind of said it's probably going to be Taylor Cornelius, we don't know. It's up in the air. And of course, you mentioned there's 3, because then you also have Costello, who they signed. But the battle's really between Drew Brown and Spencer Sanders. So you've got that to look forward to. Like you mentioned, new offensive coordinator Sean Gleason. So it'll be really interesting to see how his style of coaching, the plays he draws up, compare to what Mike Yurcich did.
Is there anything that you've heard lately that we have to look forward to on Saturday? Any insight?
I don't know. I do know, they've kind of changed the format a little bit in recent years where they're not really even calling it a spring game. It's more just like spring practice. So I think more than anything, even if it does look more like a regular practice, it's just kind of a chance to showcase, like you said, here's what fans can look forward to. Here's some of the new guys who maybe could make an impact this season. And then, of course, I am not sure the whole schedule for this time, but I know usually they have where, fans can interact with the players and kind of get that opportunity. So it should be a fun time. Supposed to be nice weather Saturday too.
Well, that will be something fun to do with the family, especially since it's Easter weekend. So that'll have some great picks, good weather, awesome time. Well, when we come back, Carney is going to bring us a recap about what's going on today and the weather update. So stay tuned.
In my mind, I was never going to walk right again. Before we were through, we had walked 23 steps. And that was my first steps of freedom. This patient is saying thank you.
And welcome back to the Daily O. The 60-degree weather should continue into the night and tomorrow. By Saturday, the temperature should rise into the mid-80s and stay in the 80s until Tuesday, and expect clear skies until Monday. There are plenty of events happening on campus tonight. If you aren't busy studying, remember Camera Person and Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse are playing, and there's an island party at Boomer Lake. And for all the latest campus news, check out www.ocali.com or download the new Ocali app. Thanks for joining us on the Daily O. See you next time. I'm Carney Porter.